well. But before I think we get there, why don't we first look at what makes one lose? Why people have lost their jobs during COVID?
Good point. Before you understand how to keep your job, you have to understand how you can lose your job.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and why you would lose your job.
Like if you want to really make money, before you think about making that money, you have to know how you can lose that money.
Yeah.
That we really,
Yes, that's correct. So basically, people need to understand, or employees need to understand, that a company will only keep you when you are adding value to it. All right. So anytime you're not adding value, then you're going to lose the job, definitely, because they're not keeping you there just for you to be another employee on the list. So if you are not a good employee, and we're going to define a good employee in different ways, but if you're not a good employee, which means you're not benefiting the company, you're not adding value to the company, then yes, you're going to lose your job. So what are the things, some of the things that make a person lose their job? First of all, when you are not in the good books of the management, you know, decision makers.
Okay.
So basically, you know that time where you are the kind of person that is not self-motivated. You wait for instructions. You're always told to do something, like even things that require you to, like, that are common sense to you, or like these are basics for your role. You still need your manager or your supervisor to tell you to do it. Nobody would want to keep that kind of person. They are probably keeping you there because they feel they don't have a strong reason to let you go, or you just cover up for, you know, they're like, okay, let's just see how long this is going to take now. When COVID hits, then there is a reason why they have to let you go. You're like, this is the right opportunity to let this person go. And then employees that talk too much and do so little. There are those people that talk more than they act, like employees that are into gossip and slander. You know, you are the kind of person that knows what is happening where and when, other than your role. You know everything else in the company but your job.
Exactly.
So nobody wants,
even that keep on complaining. They're complaining, and
yes,
you know,
many complaints about the management, about the work culture. It's not, don't get me wrong, it's not bad to complain. There is a level of complaining that is acceptable. And the question is, what have you done to change the situation? If you don't like the work environment, what part have you played in changing the work environment? Because at the end of the day, it is, how have you tried to make the work culture or the environment better? If you continue to complain about a job you've tried to leave for the past 4 years, then definitely you're not a good employee. There is a problem. You complain and stay, then you're just not good. You know another company will not take you.
Exactly.
And then you've not caused an impact. There is no impact whatsoever prior to the crisis, because these are the things they look at. How has this person added value? What impact have they caused before the crisis? If they leave, what are the chances that we're going to, you know, have a loss, or the work will be impacted? And if it's going to be impacted, on what level is it going to be impacted? If they can do away with you, you know, there are employees that will leave the organization and you won't even realize they left.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're that kind of employee, then definitely you're gonna lose your job.
I know. Wow.
Then employees that are more focused on their own rights than the progress of the company. You care more about what works for
yourself,
you, the company, because
not what exactly. Than what works for the company.
Yes, but you're not working for yourself. If you feel that you deserve every right, you should be in your own company, don't you think? But the fact that you're working for somebody else, then you should be.
At times, won't that also bring you to a level of being miserable in a company where you feel you are not happy because the things that will make you happy at work are not there? So if you just keep quiet and say, I won't complain, let me just go on, you know.
It's not about, Michael, it's okay. There are things you can change. I always, like for my candidates, candidates always ask them, is this a situation you can change? Yes or no? Then when they say yes, then why are you complaining in the first place? Is it a situation you can change? No. Then still, why are you complaining?
Yeah, because you can't change it.
You can't change it. Why are you complaining? Why are you wasting people's time and your time complaining about a situation that you cannot change? Move on. I'm not saying that you should stay in a company where you're sad. No. It's just like you have a sibling. You don't like everything they do all the time. However, you're not going to deny the fact that they're your friends or they're your sibling, right? So there are things you have to compromise on. For as long as that you're not compromising on your values and morals, there are things you have to compromise on. You're not going to you will never find a company that is as, that would agree with you all the time, or colleagues that will agree with you all the time. But do you have to be a problematic employee because you don't agree with your colleagues or your bosses or stuff like that? You get my point.
Yeah, I get the point. So if you're in this position where you are the problematic employee,
there are so many reviews,
every time you appear, there's a lot of negative energy you bring on the team.
Yes, exactly.
And most likely, when the time comes, you can be thrown off the team.
You can easily lose your job. Now, if also the other thing that could make one lose their job is if you have little or no contact with the management or the decision makers. Like, in their eyes, you don't exist, then chances are that you're going to lose your job, because they don't feel that. If they don't feel your presence, then how are they going to feel your absence at the end of the day?
But I'll take an example here in Africa. We always don't want to don't be close to the boss. That is what all these people.
There is a difference between being close to the boss.
Don't be close to the boss. Keep a distance. You do your thing. Because if you decide to be that close and they get to know you so much, then that means at times your weaknesses will be exposed, and that can be an exit.
No, this is the thing. There is a difference between you being in contact with your boss and wanting cheap popularity, in the eyes of your boss. Those are two different things. If you are just in contact with your boss, you're there to do your work, you're doing your work well. And if you are genuinely causing an impact in the company, you will be in contact with your manager or or the top management. They will know about you because you are doing something that is adding value to the organization. The fact that they don't even know you exist in a company, let's say a company has over 10,000 employees, and like if in your department you are 10, like your manager doesn't know much about you, then there is a problem. If they want to let go, they're going to go, who is this one? Who is Michael? I don't know who this one is. That means they don't do anything. Then they'll let you go.
Oh, they'll even ask, who is Michael?
What do they do?
Okay, I get you. So getting close in contact, you mean your work speaks for you. Your work represents you, even if physically you are not with your boss physically every day or on a monthly basis. But what you do must be felt, that even when you're not there, everyone will know that you're not there.
Do you know that many people, in an organization, you won't know who is in IT, who is doing the backup of all the data and stuff like that. But when there is a problem and they're not there, that is when you'll know how important they are. When you have, let's say, a virus in your system, that is when you know how important these people are. So if there is a problem in your department, but no one feels the need to contact you, then there is a problem already with you,
and
with you being that.
At times, that reminds me, at times when, you know, we take a leave, annual leaves.
Yeah.
And some people, you know, what they always do is, you know, you take some of the few things that you feel matter and you leave them at a stage where they will have to call you maybe after 1 week. Yeah. So that, you know, your impact is felt. And some people, by the way, even fear to go for leave because they think that once I leave, then no one is going to contact me. Then maybe another person might pop up and do my work, and then
they're not good at their job. They're not good at their job. You see, if you are an employee and the only thing you have to secure your job is information can be gotten anywhere or anytime. If the only thing you have to secure is information, to secure your job is information, then you are on the verge of losing your job.
Okay.
We have gone on. For me, I would walk out of the office when I was still an employee. I would walk out of the office like I know. I've given you everything. I've handed over everything, but I know there is a bit of me that you can't find in another person.
So how would I really try to find? Okay, that I think that will be.
That is what we're going to talk about next. Yeah. So then the other thing that that why people lose their jobs is because if they're requested to do more, then they ask for more. Like out of your role, let's say you are an admin assistant, and then your company, because of the pandemic, they're cutting costs, and then they ask you to help them manage their, let's say, their social media page, one of their social media pages, and then you say, okay, if you want me to do marketing for you, then you have to pay me more. Yes, and you're quite not flexible because the company is thinking we are in this situation, and this employee knows that we're going through this situation, so they're not being flexible. And you know, it's funny, even when the company has not been flexible all the years that you have worked there, for as long as you're not flexible when they want you to be flexible, they're going to let you go. Unfortunately, that is how it is.
Yeah, by the way, it's like that situation. We went through that. We went through that through the first lockdown. And some people, I know some of my friends, two of them had to lose their jobs because they told them, no, the company van is not going to be able to pick everyone, but whoever has a car, can you please volunteer and maybe pick a friend and bring them to work? So the first, the one of them said, you know, you have to, you know, give me fuel the car.
That's what
whereas every day you've been driving from home to work without saying they should fuel. So I pick a point there. Everyone who will lose their job in time of crisis, you must be flexible. Don't think about yourself. Don't think about the cost that you're going to incur because of you being in this crisis. Because the company now is in a crisis. It needs you more
your help.
than anyone. Yeah, it needs you more than it has ever needed you. Okay.
Yeah, and
wow, that's a good point.
And I'll say this as the last point. Then we shall move to the next topic. Like how to secure your job. When there is lack of trust, when an employee is not trusted anymore, you see, there are things that employers will look at. Like in my company, I'll look at somebody and I'm like, oh, I don't really trust this person, but then I'll leave them there just because they are doing the work and they're taking us through the day. Now, when there is a crisis, this is the first person I'm going to look at. Like, this one I don't trust. They can, you know, do anything anytime. So if there is a lack of trust between you and the management, then definitely you will lose your job. Like, there is no doubt on that. So you see, there are very, very many people that didn't see. Okay, I'm one of those people that didn't see the pandemic coming. So there are so many people that behave in a certain way, because they didn't see themselves lose their jobs at the end of the day. They've been in that company for 15, 20 years, and they thought that they felt like they had bought a piece of land in the company or a share in the company. And when the pandemic,
it's like they own the job.
They own a few shares in the company. So they treated the company the way they wanted. They treated their jobs the way they wanted. And here they were with a wake-up call. Boom, you're leaving. And then they start to run around like headless chicken. They don't know what to do. They feel confused. I speak to candidates every day, and candidates are depressed because they didn't see the layoff coming. You know, many people have it wrong. I will not keep you in my company just because you've been there for 10 years, just because you've been there for 20 years. No, because I've been paying you for you to work. Like, those years have been paid. It's not like you've been doing charity for me and you're like, okay, now this is your time for you to return the favor. So many employees have lost because they took their jobs for granted. They lost their jobs because they took them for granted. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So yeah. So don't get emotional.
Whoa. Okay. No, because it is very emotional to lose a job. You know, especially when you still want to work. If you lost the job and you got tired, long time.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, this is a blessing in disguise. But
yeah. So I didn't know how.
Sorry.
Okay. Now, the best, because the most important thing between a person who is giving me the job and the person who I'm going to work for, what unites us is this job.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
How do I keep it? How do I keep it?
Okay. So now we're talking about those that have a job already. Regardless of how long you've stayed on that job, because you know this COVID thing is so unpredictable. If you want to keep your job, the first thing you have to do before anything else is change your perspective of everything. Your perspective about everything in the company. Things have changed. Your thinking has to change. You remember the quote I always talk about, that if you do today's job with yesterday's method, you cannot stay, you can't stay in business tomorrow. It's the same. Before the pandemic and during the pandemic, we're not doing things the same way. Like many companies have shut down half of the infrastructure of their offices and have moved to remote working. So at the end of the day, the perspective, before anything, your perspective must change. So if you still look at things the way you used to look at them before COVID, then you won't keep it. And when you change your perspective, that is when the next thing comes in. You have to be flexible. The flexibility is important at this stage.
I know. Yeah, actually, flexibility. You also have to be versatile, more versatile than before.
Yeah.
Because you
have to be empathetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So these are things that are required, and now that brings me to the second point, upskilling. This is the right time to upskill. You know, there are so many institutes that are offering free courses. LinkedIn, for example, when you have a premium account, there are so many free courses that you can do. So what you do is you upskill, you go for transferable skills. And when I talk about transferable skills, I'm talking about communication, adaptability, leadership skills, emotional intelligence. So these are all the skills that you need. You upskill because remember, there is flexibility that is required. So this is the time they're going to look and say, okay, Michael is more of an asset for us right now because we can have him in 2 departments. So I remember the last time I was unemployed, the company I worked in, I worked as an HR manager, but then I was handling the business development, and I was handling the marketing, and I was happy doing it. So if there is an employee like me in another company, how are you going to compete with them when you can only do your job and that's it?
Yeah. Because I think most people think, let me look at my job description. Is this under my job description? No. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. So know that if you can't go the extra mile, you know, okay, go the extra mile, then it's most likely you'll keep your job. But
not then, most likely you will, because you are the company looks at you as an asset and not as a liability.
But then there are individuals who might want to be everywhere in the company.
Being everywhere,
maybe
like what?
Even being everywhere. You know, being everywhere means I'm going to do everything, do even other people's work, even when they are around, so that I can show everyone, I can show my boss that I'm versatile, I'm very resourceful, I can, you know, even that which you know. For example, I'll take an example. I decided, I said, today I'm going to go maybe at the front desk and be there and, you know, talk to people, even when the front desk manager is there. Then the next hour I run maybe to marketing and I'm talking to maybe clients. Then I leave, I go to where I'm supposed to sit, like in my office now. I do a bit of what I'm supposed to do. Then I go at the main entry, the gate man. Then I'm trying to maybe show them that they can do even better. But I'm not the manager. Maybe I'm not the HR, because that could be the HR's job.
There are two things.
I think you get the picture. You know, wanting to be everywhere.
I get it. I'll say, first of all, you can lie to yourself all the time, and you can lie to other people all the time, but you're not going to lie to all people all the time.
All the time.
There are things you can fake. You cannot fake something for long. When it comes to work, you're either productive or not productive. When you pretend to be productive, eventually, they're going to say, this person is not productive. Well, what are you doing? You're doing more of the talking. Remember, we talked about more talk, less work. So if you're going to be everywhere, imagine, when do you do your work if you have to keep rotating everywhere like you are a security guard? That is not your role. There is a primary role for you. Let's say you are a productions manager. You need to sit down and look at your team's work. Now, if you're going to marketing, if you're going to business development, and then you're going to the reception, when are you going to sit with your team to understand what they're doing, to set goals for them, to review the goals you set? It means you're going to lag behind in one task, pretending to do another task which you're not going to complete as well. So are you going to keep your job? No. Again,
so that becomes counterproductive. That becomes counterproductive, I see.
You're just lying to yourself. So
I get the
then the other thing that will help you secure your job is to add productivity into your routine.
How do I do that?
I knew you could ask. What do you do every day? A routine is something you do daily. Ensure you're being productive. Try as much as possible to do something new every day, something that will add value to the organization. You know, I always tell people, I always tell the people that I speak to that you should be too good that they cannot ignore you. Like they find it so hard to ignore you. That means you add productivity to your routine. You're going to do something. You're going to add value every day, and it is possible. Now, the competition is too high. We have people that have 20 years of experience, but they are willing to work for a salary that is for like for employees or 5 years who have 5 years of experience. So this means that the competition is too tight. But then how do you stand out of that competition is by being productive. You add productivity in your routine. It means that every day you're going to be adding value to the organization. You don't have to compete. It just in your role. Just see how you will do your role in a better way.
Okay.
You could still do the same thing, but how better can you do it?
Yeah, because you know we always get stuck in a routine. Most people, you know, by the time I get to work, this is the time I'm supposed to be at work. These are the things that I'm supposed to do. They've been set out, and you feel, I think I'm just this is just enough for that because I've done my routine. So a job is not about routine.
You can add productivity to routine. Like you can have a routine is something you do daily. All right. So I can add value every day. In my routine, I've added productivity. I add value every day. Now, people get so comfortable when they have this routine. They get so comfortable that they feel like, oh, I've done it all, and then they start to cruise. You know, when you're driving and you stop focusing,
exactly.
You cruise. So the car is just going. All you're doing is just to control it. So that's what most people do. They are cruising through their jobs.
Absolutely, not even cruising. Let's say you go into autopilot.
Yeah,
you go into autopilot. You say, I know all the corners. I know this. You know. So there's actually that is also another topic. Maybe one time we shall talk about how do I get out of the autopilot kind of mindset where I have done this job for so many years. I know everything. This is how systematic things run.
They can be done in a better way, in a different way.
Yeah. You start. At times you don't realize that you're getting stale.
Yeah.
Not until maybe something comes up. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's really very good. Anything from anything more from the bag, from your bag?
From my bag?
Yeah.
The Naostasi? Do you mean the products? Is that what you mean? Or what do you mean? I'm lost. I'm totally lost. What do you mean?
Yeah. Okay. From I mean, because we were breaking down the reasons why the things that you have to do in order to do the job.
I still have many reasons.
So sorry, I was a bit colloquial there.
Okay. Oh, like, where were we? What did we talk
Yeah. You came up with that.
You made me forget what I had to say because you're asking. Okay. The thing that I wanted to say was I hope I'm not saying this. You get involved in initiatives that help the company cut costs or generate revenue. Now, you know, at this point, in any business, they are looking at ways to cut costs as much as possible, save money, and also ways to boost revenue. So as an employee, get into those initiatives. Try to see how you can utilize the resources you have with you know, and get more out of them. They will keep you. They will keep you. They'll be like, oh, this one can't go anywhere. And then, and you give extra value.
Oh, yeah, like, because Yeah, because basically the company is in a crisis.
Yeah.
So it needs to save. So if you just leave on the lights or what, maybe let the water run, or bring any suggestion that you feel is going to help the company cut on costs.
Yes.
I get you. So that's very important. Yeah. Okay.
Then
you're saying again.
You should, as an employee, this is the time where you should learn to take risks. Take risks.
Really?
I'll highlight calculated risks.
Okay.
You don't just take a risk like, they say we should take risks. So you just go full swing, and then you make a huge loss. You hit your head so hard that it breaks. So you take calculated risks. There are so many. Some of the employees that they let go are the employees that are scared of taking risks, of taking the lead. They feel they want to sit in the back seats all the time. Okay, so this is the time for you to take calculated risks. If there are those projects where your boss is not around, or they're busy doing something else, lead. You're not gonna die. Take the lead. And
as long as you're so sure of what you have to do.
Even if, for as long as you're 80% sure, it's okay. It is okay.
Okay. You don't have to be 100%.
I mean, if my employee took a risk and they messed up, and I sat them down and they explained to me why they felt that they had to do whatever they had to do, I'll understand it's a loss, yes, so what? If they didn't try, then I would still blame them for not trying, all right? So you would rather make a mistake because you've gotten out of your shell than simply sitting there because your boss doesn't, Andrew, to buy anything from your bag. I didn't understand what he meant. I thought he meant the bag, like this one. I thought he meant this. Because I'm packing. And when he said anything from your bag, it's like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, that was
then employees yeah, I know. So employees that for you to secure your job, you should be one that wants to be better, all the time, better than yesterday. You were on a certain level before, so you have to be an employee that works towards being better. And this you cannot fake. You cannot fake.
Yeah,
your boss can see that you're improving all the time. So then another thing is try as much as possible to give. Someone has sent me a message. Just a minute.
Oh, okay.
Someone is saying I'm not able to connect. They're trying to.
Oh, sorry. They're on they. Okay, they're.
I have no idea. Okay. I'll finish that. So give feedback. I'm saying that give productive feedback. There are so many things that we see going on in companies, and we're like, if they do this and this will be the result, and the result is going to be amazing. But so many employees sit back and they're scared. They're saying that, you know what, if I give feedback, maybe I may get terminated. You'll get terminated either way. So you'd rather give feedback, help the company. If they're going to terminate you for giving feedback, they would terminate you for staying silent.
Okay. So either way, it doesn't help you.
It doesn't. It helps you if you give good feedback, productive feedback.
No, productive. If it is unproductive, then you don't, because there are people who will want to seem like they are contributing towards the growth of the company by giving lots of feedback from department to department or whatever. And then at the end of the day, it just screws up everybody.
genuine feedback may screw up everybody, but chances are it won't screw up everybody, because if it's genuine, then you're going to think about how you present it across. You don't just come out to give your feedback the way, well, it's a company. This is not your friend. This is not your brother. This is not a person on the street. This is a business. So whatever feedback you're going to give, you have to ponder on it and see how best to put it forward.
Okay. What of an incident where you have been working in this company and you feel probably you have contributed a lot to the company,
okay,
and that people should always make you a reference? Whatever is being done, they must consult you, and if they don't, then whatever they are going to do doesn't work, or won't work. If that kind of person is working and because they know they are of value, they know it, they've done several things that have, helped the company move to the next stage. Is that person really invisible? Or, because you're working as a team, but you are the center of everything and you want it to stay as that way?
One of the reasons why employees leave companies is because they don't feel that they are part of the team. Now, when you put it like everything has to go through you, that is micromanagement. There is nobody that knows it all the time. That person is not there. So, and
okay.
Would you agree that there is always more than one perspective about the same thing? Would you agree or you wouldn't agree?
I totally agree. Actually, if you're a good listener, you will know that probably even other people's views are even better than yours, or the way they do something.
Yeah. When you go to, let's say, any company, electronics, or food or health, whatever, you'll find that there is, under one service or product, there are different reviews. And you would find good and bad reviews about the same service or product from the same company.
Yeah, exactly.
What does that mean? You will see something a certain way, another person will see something another way. Look at 6. If we looked at 6 and 9, or 6 or 9, it's just 6 for me and it is 9 for you. You're going to spend the rest of your life arguing that it's a 9, and I'll spend the rest of my life arguing that it's a 6.
9?
We're all right.
Point. Yeah.
I'm like, no, it is a 6.
Yeah,
and like, no, it is a 9. But we're all right. So at the end of the day, it is important as a team. The team is not made of you alone. If you are the only member of the team, then listen to yourself alone. Don't listen to anybody else. For as long as there are 2, 3, 4, 5 people on the team, everyone's view is important. Everyone's view is as important as yours. Then you sit down, listen to all of them, and then weigh which one is better.
Also, if probably you're a manager, you don't have to be this very imposing person. But then what degree of flexibility do you need to still stay as the person who is commanding the team, whereas you're letting everyone play their role? Because I see someone in a time of crisis, most likely the company might think twice and say, but this person wants to do everything, and they are sending the whole team away. So probably he is the problem, or she is the problem.
Then there's no teamwork. You lack skills. You lack leadership skills. If you're a manager who thinks that you have to control everybody, then you're not a leader. You are a manager, correct? Anyone can be a manager. Not everybody can be a leader.
Oh, so in every manager there must be a leader.
Exactly. Exactly. 100%. So if someone is not just a manager, he's just managing. And anybody can manage. If they have the right instructions, they can manage. But then, is everybody a leader? So you being ahead of or above other people doesn't make you a kind of small god. It makes you just a person who is like an instructor, a leader, a guide. You guide them. Being a manager for other people doesn't mean that you have to impose your ideas on them. It means that you are just in a better position to make decisions for the team. Now, where the problem comes is many people forget that they are serving. They think their teams are serving them. They are the ones serving the team. You are serving your team.
I see the point. Yeah. I
want you to look at anybody who owns a company, and you'll see that they truly are servant leaders. Truly. For example, even if it's in Africa, where you go to a restaurant and you'll find that the owner of the restaurant is more empathetic, has more customer service. You know, they have everything else you would want to have in an employee. And then the employee, on the other hand, or let's say the waiter, waitress, is acting like they just dropped from Mars. That attitude. So the thing is, when you have somebody that is a head or a leader, supposed to be a leader or managing other people on the team, and they are not empathetic, they are not team players, those are people that you shouldn't have on your team. Because if someone is not empathetic, then definitely there's no emotional intelligence in them. You wouldn't want that kind of person to lead your team. You wouldn't want them to be the person other people look up to. Then this person really needs a lot of training. They need a lot of training. Now, I also sometimes don't blame these managers because, well, when you get an IT person, you train them on how to perform their job. When you get, let's say, a construction worker, you're going to train them on how to use the machine, right? But then not so many managers are trained on how to be leaders. So they're doing what they feel or believe is right. And you have frozen. I think Michael has left. Just a minute.